Reimagining Success, episode 153. You're listening to Reimagining Success, the podcast where we help you reimagine your future, designing a life and career beyond the 9 to 5 that allows you the freedom, flexibility and fulfillment that you've been dreaming of. I'm your host, Anna Lundberg. Now, let's get started on those dreams. Okay, hello everybody and welcome to this month's interview. I'm here with Pete Cann. So Pete, let's dive straight in, and can you tell us a little bit about what you were doing before and what you're doing now?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, Anna, thank you so much for having me. My name is Pete Cann, the Laughter Man, as you can probably see behind me here. And I've not always been the Laughter Man, though, Anna. I used to, we still own a chef agency, have done for the last 12 years, supplying chefs to pubs, restaurants, hotels, hospitality, sort of Bristol, plus probably about 50 miles. And it was 2016 where I discovered laughter yoga, which is sort of what got me into being the Laughter Man. And sort of 2019, I'll try and keep this quite short and concise, but 2019, I started not working on a Friday. That was my mantra. I don't work Fridays. And I started using laughter on my Fridays. So I was like, right, who can I approach? What businesses, etc., to start bringing laughter yoga to their teams. And then, so that started slowly. And then obviously when COVID came along in March 2020 and shut down hospitality overnight, I dived into laughter yoga as a mental tool for myself, for my well-being, because, you know, we couldn't, as you're aware, no one could control anything that was going on. And especially, you know, where our business was sort of turning over 1.5 million for the last couple of years. And then literally, and like, so Chloe and I were in a real spot really where we just couldn't. So not really where you know, when you can know what's happening, so you go, well, we can judge that, but actually no, we couldn't judge anything. So it was like I say, I use laughter yoga as a coping mechanism to get through those first few months. Started laughing online with people, and after sort of 6 weeks I got a booking. Someone wanted to pay me to laugh online with them. And then it just snowballed from there. And now, you know, now I am the Laughter Man. I like last week, for instance, I did a session for Fujitsu. I did a session for Nando's. You know, these are sort of the size of the companies that are booking me at the moment. And the chef agency is, I point over this way because that's where the other office is. Chloe was in the same office as me, but soon realized that actually it's quite hard to work when there's a guy laughing all the time. And so the chef business is slowly bubbling back up again, but now I'm sort of more of a directorship over there. So I will, you know, we have a weekly meeting, but most of the time I'm sat in this office or stood in this office laughing.
Amazing. I guess the first question has to be, what is laughter yoga?
Yeah, sure. So laughter yoga is a concept where basically we don't need humor and we don't need jokes to laugh. Okay. And your body doesn't know the difference between fake and real laughter. So what we do lots of different breathing and fake laughing exercises. And within about 5 to 10 minutes, the real laughter just comes from nowhere. And it's just this wonderful well-being tool that, you know, I mean, the first time I did it, I remember I just couldn't stop laughing. I was literally doubled up with stitches. And you know how you feel when you have that laughing fit. You feel really energized and feel really content and clear in the mind. So yeah, it's just this daily, it's just this practice that where basically, you know, you can laugh for no reason. And a lot of people look from the outside thinking it's weird, and it is a bit weird. It's a bit wacky. It's a bit silly, but hey, it works. You know, it really does work. And it's, so that's what it is. And the yoga bit always gets people a bit like, do we doing downward dogs? You know, are we doing yoga mats? Do we need any of that? It's like, well, it's not. It's all about the yogic breathing. So it's all about deep breath, deep yogic breathing. Because actually, especially when we're sat down so much, 20% of our oxygen just sits in our lungs and we hardly ever breathe that out. But obviously when you laugh, you're exhaling that oxygen from your lungs and you're getting fresh stuff back in, which then ultimately gets the endorphins flowing around the body. And yeah, it just makes you feel really good about yourself.
which I think we can all need. We can all do with some of that, can't we? It sounds very organic. So it doesn't sound like you're sort of, I'm fed up with this work and I'm going to do, obviously, the difficulties of the economic situation and the hospitality industry. And then how did you discover laughter yoga, did you say? Or you just happened to, someone brought you along to a session? How did you come across it?
So I was at a festival. So we go to a festival called WOMAD in the Southwest, and have done for years. And this one year in 16, I was walking through the Arboretum and I heard laughter. And I thought, there's a comedian on stage. Let's go and see who it was. And I was greeted by 100 people lying on the floor laughing. I was just like, whoa, right. I know I'm at a festival, but what's going on? And there was a sign saying laughter yoga daily at 11:30. So I remember I went back and saw Chloe, my wife, and the kids, and said, look, Daddy's going to do laughter yoga tomorrow. Do you want to come? And they're like, no, it's all right, Pete, you go and enjoy yourself. And so the lying down bit was the end of the session. So when you do a full in-person session, it's about 40 minutes long. So you do all these laughing and breathing exercises, and then you lie down and you just can't stop laughing because everything's touching the floor. If you think you lie like that, and when you're laughing, everything's wiggling and jiggling, and you obviously hearing other people laugh, which obviously sets you off as well. But then you have like this calming moment where you sort of bring everyone down. It's like, right, everyone just take a deep breath in. And I remember vividly, this lady next to me went like that. And it was just like, boom, off we went. And the whole 100 people just starts laughing again. And it's, yeah. And then you do a meditation at the end of it where it's just like a nice deep grounding meditation. So you think you go to this spike of a high of laughter and then just calm back down. And I felt like when I came back to field, I felt high, if I'm honest. I remember seeing Chloe, she looked at me and she's just like, what are you on? It's 12:30. And I was just like, this is laughter, literally, and since having a laughter practice, I don't drink anymore. I haven't drank for nearly 2 years. I haven't done any other sort of things that, I might have done in the past because I use laughter as that natural endorphin rush, basically.
And you did something else a few weeks ago, didn't you?
I did a little run as well, So I ran the little run. So yeah, I ran the London Marathon as well. So which again is another endorphin rush. Maybe not at 22 miles, it wasn't. But
it requires a bit more effort than 40 minutes of laughter, I think. But yes, no benefits. Maybe, I'm not sure. Okay, and I guess that moment when you thought, okay, I'm going to lean into this. What was that about? How did you see the business potential of, I can do this, I can actually become an expert and I can create this as an income stream? Yeah,
so do you know what? I think the first time I saw it, so I know this is an organic thing. Can you hear the blender in the background or not?
I actually can't, no.
Fantastic. Well, that's good then. That's
My
good.
So the house was shaking yesterday, they were drilling. I'm pretty sure people could hear that, but I can't hear anything. I can only hear you, really focused on you.
Brilliant. So so when I first discovered it, and then it was 2018, then or like 17, I went back and did all 4 days of this session, and I was like, actually, I need more of this, and that was for my well-being. And then I started using it as a mechanism for when I was at work. Basically, I would laugh in the morning with some people online, and then be able to sort of create my email for the week, create some video content, create marketing material, basically, because when you laugh, your creative brain opens, and it just all of a sudden you're just from writer's block, you're like, yeah, wow, wicked. And it's like a lot of energy. So, but then in 2019, I started looking into it a bit more and just sort of seeing what everyone else was doing in the world, because laughter yoga is a thing. It is out there. There's a lot of people that do it, but no one I could see was really marketing themselves as well as brand identity as well. So it was a very much, I think I'd taken the 12 years of business that I'd learned, and don't get me wrong, day one of my business was a bit like, yeah, we'll go out and work and we'll get paid nothing for it, and this will be really good because we're working for ourselves. But you grow. And so, so I basically came along with the marketing headspace of just thinking, well, wait there, if I offer this for free to a company, but let me bring a video guy with me, or let me video it on my phone. I started doing these little videos, and then people started like their eyes sort of pricking up in their mind a little bit, thinking, actually, this is a thing. And soon, I suppose, looking at all the other laughter yogis out there, now there's 2 types of laughter yogi. There's the businessy type and there's the spiritual type, because ultimately yoga is a spiritual thing. but they don't know how to market themselves, bless them. And they're lovely, lovely people, but they, and I've just come along from sort of nowhere and just gone, boom, this is what we do. And what was quite interesting actually is when it was World Laughter Day in 2020. So I did this. There's a giggle phone. This exercise, right, Anna? We should do it now, really, right?
Okay.
Where you get your phone. It's the funniest thing you've heard all day. You put it to your ear and you just start laughing like this. So there's this exercise called the giggle phone, and what I did, I decided to take it from here, put it to my ear, and then pass it on. And then I passed it around the world to, it was about 900 people in the end, all these different laughter yogi people. We went to like nearly 78 countries. So I've just got this hour and a half of this video of just people laughing and passing this phone. And I sort of just all of a sudden realized at that point is, wait there, I've gone from nobody knowing me to like actually everybody wanted to be on my video. So it was sort of quite quick there that I knew that actually there was a business. I'm just digressing a little bit here.
No, not at all. To be honest, you're sounding like a marketing genius to me. So it sounds like you really saw an opportunity. You saw a problem that you could solve in a way, and there are benefits that you can bring with that. You saw that actually there's a bit of a niche, and I've told you this before. I think I always think of you. I always give you as an example to my clients of an incredible niche. I'd never come across it before, and I 100% associate this with you. And now I know more about it. You'd be the first person, of course, I'd recommend for that kind. And the fact that you're able to create a viral video is the dream for anyone in marketing. Right. So that all sounds very easy. Can you talk us through some of the challenges you came across in the last year or so of getting this up and running and actually generating income from it?
Yeah, sure. So I think the first challenge was sort of, I suppose, just believing that I could do it. That was probably my first challenge at the beginning, and especially sort of, no disrespect to my lovely wife, Chloe, love her to bits, but she was very much like at the beginning, it's not for everyone, Pete. Not everyone wants to laugh for no reason at all. Yeah. Which was fair. But then with the mindset, it's like, everyone needs to try this because it's amazing. It makes you feel good. And then I started. So that was the first challenge, is sort of getting over the fact that don't try and push it on everybody. Just push it out there, and just naturally people will be attracted to what I'm doing. The second challenge was then like monetizing it. So working out, I mean, when I first started going out, it's like, right, half an hour session, £97. Let's just put it out there. And like people, yeah, right. Then I put it up to 147. Then I went up to 187. Then I went up to 247. Then I went up to 3 and started losing. And then I was like, bang. So I took my, I suppose,
calibrating kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And then sat at 247 and just believed in my own abilities. And don't get me wrong, there are times where people go, well, that's really expensive. And I'm like, that's fine. But that's what I'm worth for coming and do this for you. So, and then I think the other challenge has been, I'm all or nothing, Anna. That's the way I am. So as soon as I started sort of thinking, right, I need to market this. So like I started a podcast virtually straight away. That was actually off the back of the giggle phone. Actually, I was like, right, I know all these laughter yogis, so I'm going to interview them, start a podcast, and just interview laughter yogis. And then quite soon realized that actually these laughter yogis don't really do know what they're doing when it comes to sharing and all this stuff. But anyway, but I've got this podcast now. I started blogging. I started doing a YouTube channel, sort of trying to do it all. And one of the other lessons I learned probably about 6 months in was actually YouTube's a hard nut to crack, the way I was doing it, because a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but the person that I was talking to, who was helping me with sort of guiding me into the YouTube world, it's like, I really think this is going to take off, Pete. And it just didn't. And I was throwing nearly £1,000 a month at this thing, just getting proper edited and stuff. And so I suppose what I've learned is that you just work out what channels work for you. Because again, I had someone managing my Instagram account for me off the back of Clubhouse. It was all, I was everywhere. I was like, right, on Clubhouse, I'm on Instagram, I'm over. And again, sort of my outgoings were more than my incomings for probably a couple of months. It was just like, wow, this is all level. It's fine. I'm not making money, but I'm getting exposure. And then all of a sudden it's just like, wait there, I'm losing money now. This is costing me money. And I was like starting to really sort of feel it, and sort of then decided to take the decision to switch off the YouTube channel and switch off my Instagram marketing team, basically, who was running it, and just start doing things that, wait there, I know LinkedIn works. I know going on to podcast works. I know this works. And actually just focusing my energy on A, what I really enjoy doing, but B, what I know is going to actually get me customers into my pipe, basically.
I guess there's a bit of trial and error that comes there, because I'm like you. I also got very excited by what everyone says. You need a podcast and Instagram. I was on Clubhouse briefly, and then also took a step back. Saying no to channels is quite hard, isn't it? Especially when you've already started. It's all very well to start from a clean slate and focus, but once you've got it, it's quite a big, brave decision to step back. So that sounds amazing that you've done that. I guess, have you, through those challenges of sort of mindset and monetization and then focus, it sounds again like something that you've just discovered through trial and error and you've learned, or have you worked with someone who's advised you? Have you been part of communities that have support? Where have you got the support?
Yes.
Other than, I'm sure, from your wonderful wife Chloe as well, but where are you getting the support to get you over these hurdles?
So, obviously we know each other through the Upreneur. So that's one community that I belong to. But I've also, when I used to belong to a marketing company called the Entrepreneur Circle. And then off the back of that, I've met loads of business owners. So actually I've got quite a lot of sounding boards out there. So I'm quite open to just picking up the phone and just saying, hey, look, I've got this idea, or people, just asking. Sometimes, Anna, my problem is I listen to people too much. That could be a bit of a, and I just go, oh, I'll go over it. Yeah, that's
and do that. Yeah, shiny object syndrome. Absolutely.
It's but I think my heart as well, it's something that I do believe in, the feeling that I get from things as well. So if something doesn't sit right, I'll just pull the plug on it, because actually it'll make it. And going back to the YouTube, it was like, it wasn't just the money, it was a lot of energy that I was putting into this. And as soon as I pulled the plug on it, all of a sudden I just had this time, and I just remember walking around the house a little bit, and Chloe, bless us, in the other office, just getting on with the work, and I just sort of lurking around, and she's like, you all right? And I was like, yeah, I haven't really got anything to do today. She's like, well, you can make lunch. I was like, I'll go and make lunch then, not a problem. And I just sort of had all this headspace all of a sudden.
Oh, wow.
It's I think it's really important to actually have that headspace in business, definitely, because we can all do 70, 80, 90 hours a week quite easily, especially when it's a passion project. You can get really sucked in quite quickly, but you need that space to be able to step back and actually look at what's working and what's not working. And I think, again, that going back to the YouTube, that was definitely a realization. It's just like that's all costing me a lot of money, and it's costing me a lot of time. Whereas actually now, when the money comes in, I'm now starting to pay myself. B, the game plan is I'm going to put our children through school, basically, with my laughter. So the main business will pay. I say the main business, the chef agency, is going to pay our lifestyle, and then I'm going to laugh our kids through school. Just for the
you need a bumper sticker saying that, I think.
Exactly, laugh your kids through school. Just think, I just got that vision of like when one of my Neela, my eldest friend, goes to her, like, what does your dad do? She's like, he laughs. She's like, that's it. But I'm not sure if you saw, I got onto a big stage.
I did, very big stage, yeah. Huge packed audience.
Yeah, so again, that was something that off the back, so I mentioned the Entrepreneur Circle, so that was that company basically, and it was just, again, it's something that I can foresee, I can see me doing. That's where I see myself, is on those stages, on those big auditoriums, just energizing the audience. And that was the first time I've ever done anything that big. I've DJ'd in front of that many people before in my past, but just me, a microphone, and just my skills, it was a little bit like, whoa. But the energy that came from that audience, and also the I've had 5 jobs off the back of it already, so it shows that actually, if you're out there and you're present, and also what I do is, it's how I make people feel, people remember how they feel when they're in my company. So it ticks all the boxes, Anna, for me.
Do you know, that's such an important reminder, just going back to what you said. And I'm so happy to hear that it does tick those boxes and that you're able to balance those two to be able to do what you love and make a difference while also having the other income still going. As you said, taking a step back and actually having time to see what's working, because it's so easy to get into the reads. It reminds me of when I initially tentatively sort of outsourced a few of my like blog scheduling, social media emails. My week suddenly opened up and I wasn't doing anything. I thought, first of all, amazing. But also secondly, now I get why I'm not earning a lot of money, because I've just been spending all my time just doing sort of the back end stuff that doesn't really get any clients. And it's such a powerful thing. And it's so easy to, I've got to be on Clubhouse and I've got to do videos and I've got to do this, hustle, and not have that elevated perspective. So that sounds really important and insightful. What are the best parts of your lifestyle right now then? I think you've already given us a bit of a hint, but what would you say now versus where you were a few years ago?
Okay, so the first thing is definitely laughter. It's been, you know, I do laugh on Clubhouse every morning, Monday to Friday for 10 minutes. That's all I use Clubhouse for now. But, you know, it just sets me up for the day. And if I don't laugh, I actually feel the difference. So my lifestyle, you know, that just doing what I love doing. So I think sort of rewind back to the moment where I went, I could actually make some money out of this. It was just like, right, it's ticking a lot of boxes. It's ticking the showman. I used to DJ. I used to, you know, used to how make people feel through making different music. But also a bit of center of attention. I'm not going to lie, you know, I like to be, you know, but also how I make people feel. So when you know, but actually this thing came along and went, right, this makes people feel good. If you use this, you can make people feel good, and actually you can do all these things. And it was just, so basically I'm just doing what I love doing and getting paid for it, which is, you know, it's
the dream.
It is the dream. And it's, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm chasing a little bit, right? I'm going to chase that. And I'm just got to be a bit conscious because I am chasing squirrels a little bit still, you know, that shiny squirrel. Oh, I'm off over there. But it's working out, like, I suppose going back to like the upreneur and the ecosystem side of things, which has been really useful to go, because I sort of knew it anyway, you know, getting my book. I need a book. That's my next big thing. So, but getting on stage and then getting my behind the scenes stuff going. So I've got like different ways people can pay me money for laughter, basically. And obviously the closer they get to me, the more they pay, basically.
And what advice would you give someone perhaps like you who unfortunately was hit during the pandemic, or on the more positive side started thinking, hey, maybe I could turn this sort of almost hobby into a business, or they have that idea? What advice would you give now looking back on that time?
I would say plan in your mind, like take a day off or a few hours off. Like a day's better. Just get out of your own head and just work out what you want your life to look like. Like actually think, like, and think, you know, it's quite a deep thing, but you know, where do you see yourself doing? What would you really, really, really want to do? And it's not going to happen tomorrow or the day after. But if you know what that destination is, everything that you're doing is just going to aim to that destination. You're not going over to the left or right. You're just aiming straight for that vision. And that's my advice is have a good vision and a vision. I'm a big vision board man as well. So I know exactly, you know, the London Marathon has been on my vision board for the last 3 years. There's a big tick on it now. So it's I'm believing in it. And don't get me wrong, it's going to be hard. It is going to be hard. And if you've got the money coming in from somewhere else, then try and take time out a little bit. Yeah, so say, I don't know, you've got a full-time job, but you've got this passion project on the side. Do the evenings and weekends on the passion project, and then try and maybe do 1 day less a week with the main job, and then slowly bring your passion project in. And then once you've done your numbers, like once you've reckoned you've got 2, maybe 3 months of capital in the background, I would just bite the bullet and just go. You know, COVID did it for me. Just whipped it out, and I had to do it. But just do it. Just believe in your own abilities, because if you've been paid to do what you do as a passion, there's a demand for it.
That's music to my ears. It's so easy to get caught up in the how of what's how's it going to work without really having taken that time, as you said. And a day doesn't sound too hard to really envision, okay, what do I want to be doing? There's no point in going after something and then, okay, you succeed and you look around, hang on a second, this isn't where I wanted to be. And I love the really practical advice as well. Do the maths of understanding, okay, income, how no one's going to force you to quit your job tomorrow, right? So if it really is something you want to do, you might have to in the short term work a little bit extra there. But then, as you said, if you get to the point where you think, oh, I think I might be able to do it, that's then just do it. I love that. And what's on your vision board now then?
So my vision board is best-selling author is number one. There's Move to Cornwall was on there. There's lots of different bits. So bodyboarding, and the kids are at school, at tourist school. What else is on the vision board? The usual eating green is it's always there. It's been there for a while, but I've been vegan 95% of the time for quite a long time now. So and actually, what we're talking, the biggest one is 2,000 people from stage. That's my big. Okay, that's my big goal.
2001 stage.
2,000 people from stage, yeah. So that one that you and actually there's a good chance that's going to happen in January, February, but I'm not allowed to say what it is. Ticking it
off already in January, February. That's good vision boarding.
Yeah, so it's but I mean the big vision actually is San Francisco, 2,000 people, because San Francisco, because a friend of ours works for EA Sports over there, and we haven't seen him for ages, so it'd be nice to go to San. We've never been to San Fran, but I visualised Chloe sat in the auditorium, me looking down at her, just going, "Here we go." But then the kids are at boarding school just for that that weekend. So because they're at tourist school, which means that's the private school. So they've got there's lots of facets in there, which is Cornwall. So but the San Francisco is the end bit of that. But then that's also then a springboard into the States, and obviously whatever that brings to me. So it's exciting.
It's so exciting, so inspiring, but also sounds feasible. I have no doubt that you're going to get there. So that's so exciting. And also that you're not just, and this is again music to my ears, you're not just looking at business. You're actually looking at, the lifestyle for your family, where you're going to live, your fitness, your health, and so on. So that's great news that you're making all these changes and doing so well doing it. So look, Pete, thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited to have learned more, in fact, about laughter yoga. I did also wonder about the yoga, so I get the breathing now. Where can we read more if somebody is wanting to join some of your sessions? Maybe they work in a company where they think, we really need to bring Pete in. We need some of that laughter. How can we find out more? What's the next step?
Well, I'll tell you what, Anna, what we'll do before I tell you that, we'll do one laughing exercise for you and the listeners. And it's a really easy one, but this is a feeling. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a deep breath in, and we're just going to let out a long ha. Okay, so deep breath in. We're just going to go. That's all laughter is. It's just a ha on an out breath, but we're going to do lots of ha's now. We're going to take a deep breath in, and this, if you're listening, do this as well, please. Deep breath in. We're going to hold it for 5 seconds, and then we're going to laugh for 10, like it's the funniest thing that I've heard all day. So deep breath in. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, and
I see what you mean. I really felt my lungs getting empty there for a moment. That's an unusual feeling for me. Thank you so much, Pete. What a lovely note to end on, and showing you how simple it is. I am smiling and laughing, continuing on. So thank you so much for demonstrating that so beautifully.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So if anyone wants to reach out to me, best place is petecann.com. That's CANN for November. And all my other bits are on there. So, but come and say hello and let me know that you've obviously listened to this, and I would love to bring laughter to your life.
Oh, what a beautiful way to end. And if anyone can, Pete Cann, that comes to mind for me. What a great name. Thank you so much, Pete. Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Are you ready to build and scale your business to achieve everything you dreamed of when you started, without sacrificing your personal life and your sanity to do so? The truth is that escaping the 9-to-5 is not just about saying, I quit, to your boss, or putting up a website and ordering a set of business cards. A sustainable escape requires you to design and build a viable business that consistently brings in income and that fits in around the other priorities in your life. Join us in the Outsiders Business Accelerator to get ongoing coaching, training, and mentoring to help you create a long-term brand and business that works for you. Read more and apply at onestepoutside.com/accelerate. That's onestepoutside.com/accelerate.